One of the things I've loved to do is to go for bushwalks and walk through the bush. Here at the moment I'm next to a creek and I love going for a walk through the bush because I get to discover new things about life, about how nature works, and also about myself, like what sorts of things can I and can't I do, and I love seeing little challenges. So right here is actually quite a steep little incline, and I look at this and I go, oh, can I get to the top of this little incline? It's actually quite steep. I think I can, but I have to work quite hard to do it. I got to the top. And so much of my life has been a journey trying to understand who I am and what I'm going to do. What is my purpose? Why am I here? And is there a God? I can remember back to when I was much younger. And I used to sit in church. My family would go every few weeks. And I can remember sitting in church, and as the minister was praying, in the back of my mind, I'm sitting there saying, dear God, don't let it happen. But there was another time I was in a church, and actually I've got a photo of this day here with me. It's in this card that I've got. And this photo, which is a bit old now, is actually of my family. I'm the second person from the left on the photo. Next to me is the bishop who spoke that day. Behind me, with her arms around me, is my mum. Dad's behind her. Then next to mum is my grandmother, mum's mum, my sister behind her, and then my aunt on the end. And this day has great significance for me. It means a lot to me. Spiritually it means a lot, but it also means a lot emotionally for me, as it was the day that I did something that has carried me for a lot longer. If you'd asked me to go to church when I was in junior school, I would have said, no, I don't want anything to do with church. It's the most boring place you could go, as if you'd go there. But in year 8, I had a mate invite me to youth group. I went along to the youth group and I discovered that there was actually something good in church. In fact, there was a relationship. People cared for me. We had fun, we played games, we met every week. I loved it. So much so that when I got to year 10, I made a decision that I didn't want this faith that I had to remain private. Instead, I wanted to publicly declare that. And the way that was going to happen was I was actually going to do a course called Christianity Explained, and then in a church service, I was publicly going to say that I follow Jesus. The course, I remember it helped me understand clearly what a Christian believes. They trust in Jesus' death and resurrection and live for Him. I remember the message that was given on this day by the bishop. He talked about a car. And imagine if the car had one wheel missing. Well, it wouldn't be able to drive, would it? It wouldn't work properly. But if you put that one wheel back on the car, then it drives as it's meant to. And it's a bit like that in life. You take Jesus off, then the car or life doesn't go well. You put Jesus on, you put Jesus in His right place, actually behind the steering wheel, and life goes well. So for me, this day was the day I declared that I wasn't going to drive the car, but I was actually going to trust Jesus. And so publicly in front of friends and family on that day, I declared that something I knew was now true for me. It had great significance for me. And in fact, as I look back now at this photo, I'm reminded of that day and how important it was to me that I've kept following Jesus. I've kept trusting Him. As I got married, I realised that Jesus needs to be number one, and if He is, then I can truly love my wife as number two. As a dad, if I try and make it all about me and achieving my successes through my children, I fail. But if I trust in Jesus, then my children don't need to please me. I can actually love them because I know what it is to be loved. So this day has great significance and importance for me as it reminds me of Jesus. Jesus who gives me significance.